Good evening, welcome back to In the Khud. In the late night khud, we've been doing it now. It's been happening. It's fine, like my overall schedule has changed to like waking up at 7:38 and having good 7 to 8 hours of sleep, which has been good. But the downside to recording right now and editing and uploading is that I have been consistently missing out on my night schedule of riyaz plus guitar, and I've been losing touch of singing now. So I have to somehow get back to that, and that can only happen when this session happens before going to the gym at 7 o'clock. So I'll just quickly go through the day. There are a few things I want to show, specifically about this bread brand animation that I made, and people seem to like it. It wasn't like a bummer of sorts. So yeah, woke up at 8, took Snowy down, ate the oatmeal, all the basics. Now I'm writing this straight at 16:30. Spent the whole day on the bread brand animation. First was trying super hard to figure the isometric stairs once again, because I was like, maybe you can just use grease pencil and make it, and I kept staring at the reference and I thought I could just make it in my head, but it did not work out, so could not figure once again. Then there was a lot of learning / training in the NLA editor, thanks to CG Bailey, CG Cookie. I have to give credit here. So I know the guy, maybe it's his own YouTube channel, I'm not here. C Bailey Film.
But that's the animation.
I watched this video and that gave me a lot of context about understanding the NLA non-linear editor. So basically one thing that I was missing in the whole NLA scene was the fact that you have to have your dope sheet. And inside dope sheet you have the dope sheet, and you have the action editor, and you have all these other things which I don't even know what they do. Like sometimes I look at Blender and I'm like, how many facets does this software have? Like it just does not end. So there's this thing called action editor. Just for like a primer of sorts, what I will do, do you want to see the animation first? I can show the animation first. So this is what the animation actually, let me play the music. Like at the beat I made it like black. I love the like going to black kind of thing. Ideally I should have just stopped it here. I'll let it play for like 2 more seconds. About the NLA editor, I'm gonna come out of this whole situation here and just add a simple cube for demonstration purposes. Now I said there's the action editor in the dope sheet, and there is the NLA editor at the bottom here. So I'm just gonna keep only selected on. So what we're gonna do is the floor missing here? Yeah. Why are we underneath the floor? Wait, what are we at? Global. Still not there. Yep. So basically the action editor, which is part of the dope sheet editor, what you want to do is you want to define actions here. So let's say I do a very simple action of moving this cube from left to right. Okay, so I'm gonna take it here, I location, move it to the right. I location or available, doesn't make a difference. Wait, I didn't even move forward in the timeline. Let's go to like 20 frames and then GX here, and I like to put available because it helps. Okay, so this is a very simple motion like this, and you can rename this action. Blender automatically makes an action for you. So we can call this move underscore right, because that's what it's doing, move right. Okay, now importantly what you can do is, since this is the action editor here, you have this button here called push down. You can either press this or this. When you do that, that is when this particular action which we have made called move right, a lot more in this project actually, that will become an NLA strip. Okay, so I'm gonna press push down here. So what you will see is here there's an NLA track, and here we have the move right action happening. Now the first thing that I got stuck with is the fact that if I take this strip and shift D and move it here, What is actually happening is it's only happening on the second instance, or if I make another copy, it's only happening on the last instance. So why is that happening? Is this not happening on the first few instances? It seems like. So again, C. Bailey's video, that's when I understood that for all these strips, right, there are a ton of settings here, but the most important setting you have to consider is inside active strip you have extrapolation and blending. Okay, so if it is at replace, if extrapolation is at hold, then what's going to happen is only this one, the last one, is going to show up. So what you want to do is you want to select all of this and say nothing, because you don't want to hold anything on, and even make this nothing. So now every time that this is coming, this will like show now. But what is happening is this is disappearing, right, because there's no action of sorts. If you could select one and say instead of nothing, hold, so this will be held, and then it like this position will be held. Like, I haven't completely understood how this works, but I'm trying to like understand while I'm kind of documenting this. One more important thing here is, though, you see that the moment this happens, there is this kind of snap. This is at hold. If it was at nothing, in order to avoid that kind of gap in between, what you could do is you could come in here and extend this till this point, like at 37 or 38 frames. So you can come in here and the action clip, you could extend it to 38, and then you would have this, you won't have that gap in between. Now one thing I found, that this extending it to 38 here is not the same as coming here and then scaling it up till 38, because what is happening is, in that while we're actually doing the loop twice. So this is the same as increasing the repeat function, right? So that's a little different. What you want to do is you want to come in here and change the end value. I'm sure there must be a shortcut to do that as well. As with everything else in Blender, there's always a shortcut. Enough of that one thing. Now the second thing that I want to do is maybe have another kind of motion happening. So I'm gonna come in somewhere like here. Now this time I'll make a new action myself and call this cube up underscore rotate. So what is gonna happen here is I'm gonna say I location rotation. I'm gonna go like 20 frames forward, and GZ, bring it up, and RR, maybe something like this. So I available. Now we can get this kind of thing, and I just for good measure I want to bring it back down as well. So I'm going to take these and bring it here. So it goes up and it comes down like this. Now this is going to be cube up rotate. I'm going to push this down. Now here is the tricky part about using the NLA. So let's say I want to not rotate this here but rotate it somewhere else. I can press Shift A here to add another NLA track, and I can move these up like as conveniently. Maybe in between here I want to have that thing happen. Now you will see one thing that happens is, because this is one at hold and the blending is replace, only this is gonna work. Like, it's gonna replace everything else in the track, and because it's at the top. So that's also one thing you have to keep in mind, the order and at which things are. So like, you can't take this down. Yeah, you can press here. If something is at the top, that will be given priority. Like right now, is this at hold? Let's make it nothing. So yeah, it's happening, moving right, move right, and then cube up and rotate is also happening. But you see, it moved and then it, so all of a sudden became rotate. So for that you have these options here. You can combine. Oh, where did it go? I don't quite understand how combine works. Like, the more I use it, I'll probably understand. And then again, there are blend options, like you can fade in, fade out things. I'll get at a point where I can make complete character animation. It's very powerful. It's clearly very powerful. So if I have to quickly show you how this is set up, let's go to the camera view. And I've done this through the NLA editor only. Like at the very beginning, you see there are two things. One action called climb up. That's only the scale changing. And there's another action. Okay, I have to just disable this. These are the ones I just added. And there is two breads here, regular bread and then the branded bread. So this is just the cardboard that I made. So that's scale. There's one thing for only scale. Like if I open the dope sheet, where do I see? It's the action editor. So you'll see it in dope sheet here. If I go in here, you see that these are only scale keyframes. There's then squash, and then over here stretch, and then squash, and then back to the normal position. There's one only for scale, and then I've clubbed it with the climb up. So climb up is only location changes, so from here to here. And I kind of experimented and figured out with these things here and how it could match. Over here, this camera movement is through the line, through the follow path and constraint that I discussed in yesterday's video. I'm at 12:49, it's gonna be a problem to edit this. And then once I come here, this is where I couldn't like figure out how things would get done. Okay, yeah, one important thing is here, this formation of the bread is happening through geonodes. So it's a very simple geometry nodes setup. I will show you that as well because I'm a good boy. Okay, I'll go into geonodes. So what is actually happening is this geometry input is the box and we are splitting edges because I want to obviously split things. Now I will just quickly say, yeah, offset. For set position, we are offsetting through the normal, and for selection, we are bringing it through the position and then multiply, and then it's just this value here. I brought it into the modifier here. So this value, you bring it up and down, you will see that from the normal distance it is coming in and out. It's pretty simple node structure, but yeah, did use geonodes, which is nice. And then once that is done, we go in here, camera goes back, and again here this thing, right, that rotation is like just fancy stuff. But here if I, two of them, THF climb scale, it's the scale thing which has been repeated, and this is all the keyframes for the box going up, like a lot of keyframes here. Yeah, basically I was like, there should be a way to just use NLA strips and do it, but I couldn't, like I didn't have the strength to figure things out, so I just added so many keyframes. I was also thinking to take it up another level. There was too many keyframes to deal with here. That's the entirety of today, and life's been super good. Like by the end of the day, I was also working on another full-time job brand only, 3D animation that I will give tomorrow. So thank the stars, I've been working a lot in Blender. It's been going really good. Yeah, I'm like super tired. I really need to sleep right now. So thanks so much for being in the khud. I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.